Hey guys, Laser here with another ranked game episode, and this one, there was a major war once again, and once again the same sides, even though I offered a deal to Austria and France at the beginning of the previous session. The Austria didn't really want to sign it. Just it seemed reluctant to just making any deals with Russia. Actually, they came first to me and proposed that we exchange. I get Podolia and Kiev back. In exchange, they get Russian Moldova and Bujak. Now, I had no problems with that. Well, actually, in the first I did, but then I realized Bujak actually doesn't have any. It has a very low population of Russians and Ukrainians, so it doesn't really matter to me. But the problem with Austria is that they didn't want to give it up because I didn't agree to remove my cores from Bujak and from Moldova. Now, the reason I don't want to do that is because then every peace treaty would have it, and I don't think that's the way we should be going. Like, I think there would be too many abuses using that in treaties and in peace agreements, and I don't want that in the game. So we're currently discussing it on the forum, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna allow it. Even though most people seem to be okay with it, still don't think it's a good idea. So we will see what happens with that, but I don't know. I will have to think a bit more about that and talk to others. But yeah, just another issue for a later date. Anyway, so what happened in the between previous sessions is that UK kind of signed a non-aggression pact with Austria and Hungary. Now that also guaranteeing that Austria and Hungary wouldn't add any war goals on Russia. So basically, I had a choice whether to stay alone in the war and continue fighting Austria and France alone, or just to white peace. So obviously, I chose to get a white peace out of it. There was no point fighting because there was really no chance that I would be able to win that war alone. Even with UK, I think we had a pretty decent chance of winning, but it wasn't like 100% win for us. The opposing side did have more brigades, but that didn't really matter because our brigades were better positioned and better equipped. So I think we could have continued pushing and win the war. But UK is just everything is going their way. So the previous session before this one, they signed an alliance with me, so because they felt shaky in India, and then they did join my war against Austria and France, and they did help. But as soon as they saw that I was actually weak at that point and I couldn't endanger them in India or wherever, they just choose to bail out, and that's pretty much it. So I was struggling to rebuild during the previous session, and I did get most of my brigades up. Actually, I got all of them back. And my industry is still growing pretty steadily. So I signed an alliance with Germany. Now, Germany was very powerful and looking very strong, but I think we missed an opportunity of, like, we had some 4 or 5 months when we should have used to attack Austria and France right away and destroy them while they were not prepared. Instead, I was just burning my money being fully funded, and everyone else wasn't fully funded. So I think that was a mistake and a wasted opportunity. But then once the war started, France and Austria had more money, and also Ottomans joined them. No one else was allowed to join our side. And yeah, since Germany actually declared war on France, I couldn't I couldn't call Arabia in. And then Ottomans were again nuisance, and they were pushing over here. So the war didn't go very well for us. We did manage to seize few territories in Kiev here very quickly, but that is mostly because Austrian brigades weren't positioned well for some reason, or maybe it was calculated risk. They do control Moldavia for in exchange, but I think it's much better for us because it reduces the front and we actually have less brigades than them right now. The reason for that is because I didn't mobilize and only Germany is mobilized on our part. So the biggest turning point of the war, I believe, is once we started beating Ottomans and we actually destroyed them. They were left to some 30 brigades or even less. No, yeah, they have 17. They also, Serbia declared their own separate war. It was not a player-controlled nation, it was AI, and occupied most of the Ottoman Empire here. So that actually helped us a lot because the war exhaustion in Ottomans had risen, and also they had to commit some brigades to defending from them. So that was a great deal because we were able to push Ottomans out of the war, and it only happened like a few months ago. So the war, I think, is slowly changing into our favor, even though I'm kinda in the debt right now, some 150,000. I still have National Bank of 100,000, and I'm making money right now, so we should be fine, I think. If the war starts changing majorly, I think I will risk going bankrupt and I just mobilize and try to win just by sheer amount of troops that we have. So, unfortunately, I really didn't understand why. Yeah, we did attack France here, but that was mostly because we needed instant CB. So we're actually, our main primary war goal is to get Kiev and Podolia back to Russia. Now, France is sticking with Austria for most of the game, even though they plan to attack UK with Ottoman Empire. So I don't really understand why are they doing it. Why are they protecting Austria? I don't really want to fight Austria. I shouldn't be fighting Austria. I just want my cores back. But yeah, Austria player seems kind of stubborn, and he's always afraid that I would be attacking him. Actually, I think it's a personal problem. Like, Gaku thinks that my only goal in this game is to destroy him, and I don't like. He just keeps taking my territory, and how can I ignore it? I have to get my cores back, especially when I have like 1 million population accepted in Austria-Hungary. That population is 5 times more worth to me than it is to him, so I can't just ignore that. I have to get my stuff back. So he's just afraid that if we had that deal signed, transfer of Moldova and Bujak for Kiev or even Podolia, that I would be attacking him later on. I don't see a reason to attack Austria, but whatever. Anyway, so Germany has some issues with rebels. I think we'll get it solved fairly quickly. I'm sending some troops, some reinforcements from Asia here, so we should be fine there. I don't see. I think this war will be very, very long one. I don't see any side making a major breakthrough. There were a few attacks by Austria and France into our lines here, and none of them worked out. Also, we tried to break through in some of their provinces, but it didn't really work out also. We tried attacking here, I think Korsten, and we also tried attacking into, I believe, Odessa. Didn't really work out, but I think their side took way more losses than we did. Unfortunately, their industry seems to be better. They seem to be producing more military stuff than we are, so I don't know how that will go. I think we should, in the long term, have some advantage. because German industry should be much better than French, even though France has more industrial power, but I don't know. Also, in the last moment, well, actually after the session, France signed a suicidal treaty. They agreed to give all of their Africa to UK and reduce their navy to I think 1/3 of German navy or something. I don't know. Like, I think they had to agree that their navy would never be larger than German and Russian navy, or some sort of that. In exchange, basically, UK promises not to attack France and Austria, which is just, I don't know, like, what are they going to do with that? I think the counteroffer that they proposed to France was to leave this war. I think they have a war goal on us. Yeah, they do. So, France could just remain neutral in this war and let us win against Austria. I promised that we wouldn't be taking anything else but my course. Instead, France opted to sign a treaty with UK. I don't think that was a good choice for them. I don't think that was beneficial for them. But whatever, their choice. The other solution for UK was to just go and cut down to size France, which would destroy basically their only threat right now, and that would be it. The UK just wins the game. I mean, they already control all of the Southeast Asia, plus India, plus they have annexed Japan. And also now they're going to have all of the Africa, basically, since they are allied with Spain. No one is going to be able to compete them. Also, they are taking Arabia from my sphere of influence, and I don't see a way for anyone to compete them. There is only one country that could potentially now endanger UK, and that is Canada, but I don't think Canada has guts to do anything about UK, so I think that at this point UK is the complete winner of the game, and no matter what happens in Europe, we will all just be too weak to compete with UK, so now it's basically a race for our second spot, and that race seems to be led currently by France, but if they maintain the treaty with UK, they will never be able to have a navy, and I think in the late game I will just be able to surpass them by simply making a late game fleet and getting points from it. So about this war, it's a very intense war. None of us have money at the moment. I think Austria and France probably have 500,000 in their bank right now. But the major advantage that they have is that my economy kind of stabilized. I'm not mobilized, so that is not also sucking up my economy, and Germany has 2 million in national bank. So Germany can keep this war forever, basically. So I think in the long run, even though we are currently blockaded and my war exhaustion is quite high, I think we should be able to beat them. Now, after that, I don't really know what is going to happen. I know that Britain plans an invasion on Ottoman Empire, and to be completely honest, I don't know, like, I don't like UK expanding into and getting more borders with me, but I did warn Ottomans, even in the first session. I told them, like, look, you either choose to be my ally or be British ally, or you just die. Like, Austria can't protect them from. They could potentially protect them from me, but they can't protect them from UK. I didn't get any ally to protect them from UK, so now that France has a treaty with UK, Ottomans are just dead. Man, I think that was a very, very bad strategical choice. Like, even though they won 2 wars against us, now that they finally lost one war, they're completely out of it. They're completely destroyed. They don't have anything. Once they start losing colonies and stuff in here, their industry is pretty low. They don't have any troops. They only have 17 brigades. They don't even know what their research is, and they're falling out of GP. So I think Ottomans might be the biggest loser of this game. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it just seems like it. So that's pretty much it for this review. It was quite intense game. I just want to be done with this one, to be completely honest, because a lot of players left in the second session, and I don't. Yeah, once again, it just proves that they should be allowing a lot of newcomers in ranked games, because these games are very, how should I put it, like, very intense when it comes to warfare, and players are very aggressive. For example, USA, they expected Russia and France, well, maybe not France, Russia and Germany to help them against UK in early game wars. How are we supposed to do that? We don't have a navy to do that. We can't supply our navy, even if we had one. I do start with a quite huge navy, but I can't supply it. So I can't maintain the navy, and that simply means that we can't do anything about UK. And then they engaged into few quite stupid wars, trying to beat UK instead of just surrendering right away, and that just didn't work out well. Also, Italian player, I told him just to surrender, he didn't want to, and then he lost everything. If he did surrender, he wouldn't be able to lose Piedmont, and Italy would be a thing right now. So we would have Italy right now. Also, there is Japan. He also didn't listen to me. He thought he could actually win against UK instead of just surrendering. If he surrendered right away, UK would be able to take maybe 1 or 2 states from him. Instead, UK got like 6 or 7 in first war, and then the next in the next one. So I really think you have to think about it and like revise some of my rules. I think there might be some big rule changes. I'm even considering removing coefficient rules for the next one. So it's a big risk. The game might be completely imbalanced, but I will have to think twice about that. So this Saturday will be a very intense game, and we will see what UK decides to do. If they declare war on me, I think I just surrender. I don't think I can fight them. So we'll see about that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have fun.